Today's topic will be never exploit the prodigy. Exploitation is the selfish use of someone else or for one's own ends or profit. Taking an unfair advantage. Subtle forms of exploitations are not easy to detect, but usually preventable. Mentors should think how their prodigies benefit from the expectations, assignments, and demands placed on them. If benefits can be identified, chances of exploitation are reduced. Forms of exploitation. Sexual exploitation, mentors clearly recognize and guard against. It is sad but true that sexual exploitation happens a lot. It happens a lot, and whether you are the prodigy or the mentor, keep an eye on it, how the other person is behaving with you. Emotional exploitation, mentor, mostly unaware, attempts to use the prodigy to satisfy unmet and often powerful emotional needs, requires prodigy to listen to personal complaints and dissatisfaction or demanding adulation. It happens a lot that a mentor might need to vent out and uses the prodigy, distracts the prodigy from his work just to vent out. And that is basically exploitation too. It is mostly unaware because the mentor might think that the prodigy is trustable, but on the other side, he's basically using the prodigy just to vent out. And professional exploitation, the mentor takes unfair advantage of the prodigy's work or professional products, presents prodigy's work as their own. That happens a lot too. It is unbelievable, but it does. As we had in a module before, the prodigy could be better than the mentor. Hardworking. If it's hardworking, he might know more of general knowledge, right? And he might have more creative ideas, but the mentor could be using. He could be doing things like, say, the prodigy does a presentation or whatever, and the mentor just leaves out the prodigy's name on it, right? Things like that. You want to be aware of that, and it's just not fair. It's just not fair. And they may demand exceptional productivity and devotion to long work hours from prodigy without giving coaching, sponsorship, or support. You cannot expect from your prodigy to just work more or do things what they have never been done before, or you never teach them, right? By intentionally keeping the focus of the mentorship on the prodigy's growth and development, and by accepting their inherent power in relation to prodigies, mentors reduce the probability that a mentorship will become exploitive. You might want to keep an eye on that. It is teamwork. It is not one work and one gains the name. It is teamwork. Key components. Avoid taking unfair advantages of prodigies. Recognize that prodigies are usually vulnerable to some extent to exploitation. Be aware of both overt, could be sexual, and subtle, which could be emotional and professional, temptations to exploit. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone?
What do you mean by when it says professional temptation?
It is it is the subtle meaning of could be emotional or professional.
Yeah, so what is professional temptation?
Well, as I said in the slide before, you could maybe use the prodigy's work as your own.
Okay,
The temptation will be there. The temptation will be there that you will just want to have your name stand out, right? As a mentor.
Yeah, I got it.
But you shouldn't do that because it's just unfair in opposite to the prodigy. And a mentorship is a lot teamwork and not your own work.
Yeah, like submitting with my name instead of the prodigy's name, because it is a good work and I want to take my name on it, right? That's
Yeah, exactly. So that could be on the professional means.
Thank you.
Like that, there's a lot more. I just put some examples, but yeah, there is a lot more. That a professional could also be that they could just simply make you work a lot. They could just put all the work what they are supposed to do by themselves, which you are not coached or trained enough on. They cannot come and tell you that here, can you take over this? Because I simply don't have the time. That cannot be. And if you're the prodigy, you should speak out. If you're the mentor, you should avoid doing that.
Okay, I see. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Does anyone else want to say anything? Okay, then let's have a discussion all together. I'm not going to put you into break rooms. Let's have a discussion on, I want you guys to divide into groups, some for exploitation, which is unaware, because you might think, is there anyone who might think that maybe a little bit of exploitation doesn't exist and put that more into the category? This is what happens when I mean mentors are mostly unaware. They just think, okay, maybe it could fall into the category of protection, or it could fall into the category of they will learn more when I let them do things. Do you think this could be right? When I give you, we had in another module, I'm giving you more challenging assignments. Does this fall into exploitation? Who's against it and who's for it? You guys are quiet today.
I would be leaning towards the side that's against the projects or assignments.
Yeah. And why?
I just feel like offering like assignments for mentees to do would be pretty stressful on top of their already busy life. But let's say if they have a lot of free time and don't have much to do, then I think some assignments will be okay. But if they already have a busy life and you offer them more assignments, that's just gonna build up their stress level. And I think what a mentor mainly should do, it should be just talking to them and help them figure out a way that they want to achieve their goal instead of offering more assignments. But assignments do help them improve if it's done correctly. So I'm like in the middle, but leaning towards like not giving assignments.
So say for an example, you as a prodigy and me as a mentor, I'm giving you that more challenging assignment. But then you would come to me and tell me that you just don't have the time because you have so much to do already and you're not able to do it. And then me as a mentor, I would say, no, Andy, listen, I want you to do this with all your other work because I am trying to improve you. How would your response?
I wouldn't be too happy about it as a mentee because it just sounds like you're giving me even more things and you're telling me that this thing is more important than my real life obligations. Yeah.
So you would think I'm forcing you.
Yeah, to an extent, yeah.
Yeah, which is right. And then you as a mentee, you should speak up. not staying quiet and then just doing it because that is what you would do basically out of anxiety. Speak up. Joey, I can see your hands are raised.
Yeah, I agree. Like with the challenging assignments, it will also make the mentor or mentee feel left very stressed because and it also kind of reminds me of the last module we did about how we discussed that mentees may feel uncomfortable with the counseling and they trying to get them to talk, right? They may not want to do assignments because they're busy with life, or maybe they just don't really feel like changing. So it all depends on like tone or attitude, basically, on it. So I just wanted to add that in before we move on.
Yeah, thank you, Joey. Anyone else who wants to say something? For Hannah, Monica, Alice?
Yeah, I would be, as I posted in the chat that I'm against it
I'm
because
sorry, I can't see the chat because my screen is up. So I can't see the chat. Just speak up.
okay, so yeah, I'm against it, and because I would think that the mentee is actually going through a lot of challenges already, and as a mentor, if the mentee fails to do something and comes back without doing it, I would try to do it within the time that the person is with me, instead of giving or her extra, come back with this. Definitely, if they come back, I would really appreciate, and I would really appreciate, and I would say, okay, let's do it when we are together, because the mentee is already in stress, and because that is why they are here with the mentor, right? So it's not to make them feel like, it might make them feel like they're failure and they're not doing things properly, but instead we can just do it together. Use the time that while we are here instead of bringing them back or something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you, Farhana.
Thank you.
Monica and Alice? Participation. Okay, just as a mentor, just make sure that you don't become lazy yourself, because that will lead a lot to exploitation itself too. And just be humble, stay humble, be fair, and then you will just get through it. Let's go to the next topic, which will be our last topic of this module. Consider prodigy's relationship style. Mentorship is not the most important relationship for prodigies. Understand that prodigy's most important relationship began in childhood. Early experiences influence the extent to which people seek out relationships, but put trust in others, and develop their personality style. Children who have a secure attachment base develop a sense of trust and are not anxious or insecure about undertaking new activities or forming new relationships as adults. So you want to understand what kind of a person the prodigy is in order to work with him, in order to give him challenges, because they might have been through something. And there are little things what you can look at and what you can figure out what kind of a person they are. We kept saying that through all the modules we went through, you want to learn your prodigy. You want to know what kind of a person he is or she. So what does trust have to do with mentoring? As a mentor, you likely will encounter prodigies with one of three attachment or relationship styles. Secure prodigies have formed secure and trusting attachments to parents early in life. They are likely to be more trusting and comfortable, have a high self-esteem, and are more motivated. Avoidant prodigies have not developed secure attachment, to primary caregivers in childhood, so they do not easily trust others and generally spurn close relationships. They either reject them or they avoid them. Preoccupied prodigies want closeness and relationship, but remain unsure if they can rely on others. Want mentorship guidance, but believe it's unreliable. They respond with ambivalence to mentorship. They basically are double-minded. They don't know what to do. They want it, but they don't want it. Is that understood?
Yes.
Which of these three styles characterizes your prodigy? How do you figure that out? Secure prodigies are mostly engaged, motivated. They can handle texture and intensity of mentorship. Preoccupied prodigies are mostly there, secure initially, but they may occasionally withdraw or show evidence of mentor unreliability. They will require particular patience and consistency as he or she goes through periods of ambivalence and retraction from relational connection. They are basically double-minded. They don't know what to do. Avoidant prodigies, they are unlikely to enter a mentorship relationship. They might be overwhelmed by, and they even run away from all the things personal and relational. Avoidant prodigies could a lot be prodigies who are forced into the mentorship, which could be court mandated or anything else, right? They will be not motivated. They will just fly through it without any likes or anything. And you can see, you can tell when you start working with the prodigies, you can tell whether they are motivated or not, whether they like to be here or not, whether they start talking a lot or not, right? Does anyone have any questions? The key components. Remember that prodigies bring their own relationship style to the mentorship. Accept the fact that some prodigies will be quite receptive to a relationship, while others will be avoidant or ambivalent. Let the prodigy style guide your approach to mentoring. Recognize that secure prodigies will benefit from career and relational functions, while avoidant prodigies will only accept career functions. Do you guys have any questions? Any questions on how to figure out what type of characterized prodigy he is or she?
Yeah, not a question, but if it is so, can you just give us a few examples of it?
The examples are here, but sure, I can give you some more. For example,
no, I mean example meaning a little bit, just a little bit of discussion. Like as you asked the question, like how to. I was actually thinking. I know by the presence and by the attitude of the mentees or by how they react, we can understand a bit what type of mentee they are. But still, is there any other, if there's any more points that you can just mention? That's what I was meaning.
I don't understand what you're asking. Any more points? There are these three types of prodigies, what you have to keep in mind. What do you mean by any more points?
Any more points?
Individual characteristics?
Yeah, like as you said that, is there anything that we could?
Well, for a secure prodigy, they might be a lot motivated. A prodigy who asks a lot of questions. You know that they are listening and they want to understand, right? That would fall for me into a secure prodigy category. But then if I have a prodigy who is a mentee who's just listening. I would call out their names again and again and again. They wouldn't respond. They don't ask me any questions. They don't ask me any questions. They are there, but they are not there. That would be for me an avoidant prodigy.
Okay.
Right? But then, as I said, someone who asks me a lot of questions, you, for example, you ask me a lot of questions, you want to understand, you're giving your motivation to understand, asking me questions, that is for me a secure prodigy. But then on the other hand, a preoccupied prodigy would be someone who's like, say for example, I am giving you an example, but then you throw me an example back and show me that whatever I teached is not true. Say for an example, I tell you that it could be that the prodigy is not motivated because he had issues in their childhood. But then someone would tell me, no, even if they don't have issues in their childhood, they still can be motivated. Like, you're speaking against my word. You are basically arguing with me that mentorship is not true. It's not unreliable.
So
But you are here. It is tricky. But
okay.
The preoccupied prodigy basically has a double mind. He wants to be here, but he don't want to be here.
So what I think here, difference between secure prodigy and preoccupied prodigy is maybe the preoccupied prodigy is trying to test the mentor, or maybe
that's all.
Right?
You know, simple. Take me as an example. Take me. You know how during this mentorship program, how many times did we have questions which were opinion based, and I gave you my opinion based answers on, for example, how I would treat a client or how I would treat a certain situation. We had a lot of opinion based talk, didn't we? So then it could be that what my opinion is not your same opinion.
Yeah.
Right? So we go different ways in opinions. Right?
Yes.
That could be again an example for a preoccupied prodigy, because you are not, how do I explain it? You are not fully into the mentorship, because both our ways are going different ways.
Yeah, I understood, Sukhan. I think let me just give it to few. What I understood is so the preoccupied one is kind of more we are sharing when we have opinionated, or how do you say that? Opinion based discussions, we accept each other's opinion, we share the views. Yes. But the person who is preoccupied, it's more like yesterday the video that we watched, that they're not actually listening.
Yep.
But they're just trying to embarrass the other person, showing that we know more, or this is my point is right, or something, argument, instead of being open-minded or accepting the mentorship, right? I think that is pretty much.
It is partly right. It is partly right. It is partly wrong. Let me explain it. The preoccupied prodigy will listen. He will listen. It's the avoidant prodigy who won't listen, who will just fly through it. He will just take things. You don't even know, you as a mentor or me as a mentor, I don't even know if he's taking things in or not. And that's what makes me asking again and again, are you there? Can I hear? Can I do you have any questions? But then the preoccupied prodigy, he does listen, but he argues against it because he wants to know more.
So that is a positive thing, not yet a negative.
Positive thing. That is a positive thing.
Okay. I was thinking.
To my opinion, the preoccupied prodigy is actually a positive thing. He keeps arguing, yes. It could be a pain, yes. But he is learning more, and on the other side, you will learn more too.
Yeah, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
The avoidant prodigy is what you want to take care of, because it can be really, really, really hard to work with someone who is really closed. Because there are a few examples. They don't want to talk about themselves. They don't want to talk about their personal background. They don't want to talk about anything around them, anything, because their mindset will be like, oh, I have to go through it. It's just an hour and I will be finished with it soon.
Yeah. Okay.
That
Yeah,
will
I
be
got
their mindset. And when you have somebody closed like this, we have a question and somebody tells me, oh, I don't know, right? Or I sit here, I call out names, I don't hear an answer. Things like that, but I can't control. Is hard because with prodigies like that, you can't work, but you still want to finish. You still want to get them on your side somehow. So the only way is asking them questions again and again and again. Ask, did you understand it, again and again and again. It can be a pain. It can be a pain, but patience is one of the personality skills of the mentor, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, thanks, Sukan. Yeah, I got
But then on the same side, a mentee who stays avoidant like this won't go far. Right? It will be my responsibility, yes, but I can only try until my patience is done. It is partnership, it is teamwork. The prodigy has to come against me too. And if you don't want to, then there's not much help.
Yeah, and in that case, the mentorship thing can, I mean, the mentor can ask for a different, in a relationship of mentor and mentee setup, there are other ways, like as we learned before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, Sukan.
Just by talking to them and by engaging to them, you will figure out what type of a person they are. Because, for example, when you have a secure prodigy, they are motivated, they are nice to work with, and your whole mentorship will go smoothly and nice, right? Because you won't have to sit down and call out their names again and again and give them more and more assignments. And, you don't have to put much effort into them because they are willing to learn. But then on the other hand, and with an avoidant prodigy, it's going to be hard. You want to take things slow because they won't put most of their effort in it. So it will be you working a lot, right? And that's also with an avoidant prodigy. To me, this is now more opinion based. This is when my boundaries kick in, because at some point I stop. If I see that it's going to an extreme, if I see that they are not responding to me anything, then I would have to consider other things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
With a preoccupied prodigy, you will have a lot of questions answering, a lot of talk, and they might be, isn't it this way? They might ask questions, no, isn't it this way or isn't it that way? Because to me, I wouldn't do this. You just give them an answer and you will have a lot of talk. The secure prodigy might just be like, yeah, sure, I will do it, right? And the avoidant prodigy could be saying, oh, whatever. Let me finish it, whatever, right? So basically on the way they talk, on their body and face expressions, you could actually tell what kind of a person they are and how to work with them. Okay.
Yeah.
Does anyone might want to add something? No.
How do you approach someone that's avoidant?
Keep asking questions again and again. Ask questions like, did you understand? Mm-hmm. Can I help you any further? Do you want me to explain anything? You could think that you might be nagging him, but there's no other way. There's no other way. You can't really make them like, take me for an example. I'm having the slides up. I'm not really seeing who was there and who was not. And still the only things I could do is ask questions. Do you guys have any more questions? Do you want me to elaborate on anything more? That's the only way.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else, any questions? Nope. Okay, we have a few more minutes. What I want you to do is I want you to do a, let me pick someone. I'm going to pick Alice and Joey. I want you guys to have a role play on a preoccupied prodigy. Can you? I'm not going to put you into break rooms. I can step in if you need to. Alice and Andy? Did I say Alice and Andy or did I say Alice and Joey? Sorry.
You said Joey, but
Okay,
yeah.
Alice and Joey.
Sure, I can do a role play on it.
Alice. You guys know that participation is a thing here too. Monica, are you there? Monica?
Yes.
Okay, can you do the role play on a preoccupied prodigy with Joey?
Okay. I can be the mentee.
You want to be the mentee? Joey, will you be the mentor?
Yes, I can. So hello, Monica. It's great to see you today. Thanks for coming in. And I'm really looking forward to meeting with you and speaking with you today. If you can let me know what's been going on.
Yeah. Everything has been going okay. I'm still coming here, so nothing new there.
Okay. I understand that I'm always here to help you in case you have any difficulty or any experience, any questions, because all the information we keep is confidential. So
Yeah,
feel free to tell me anything.
No, that's definitely good to know. I would definitely, share if anything is new, but right now, nothing is really new. I'm just still, being told to come here for the most part.
So in other words, you're saying that you don't know why you're here for counseling, and somebody has forced you to come to counseling. Can you tell me a little more about that, please?
Yeah, I was just told to come. So every time they take me out of my room and tell me that, we have this scheduled, so I have to come.
How did you feel when you were told to come to counseling?
I was kind of confused, like, why am I coming?
Yeah, I know, like a lot of, it can be a bit difficult to understand why we need counseling because, or a mentorship because, we think we're okay as mentees, we're okay to solve a problem on our own. But therapy is always good, and it's always good to talk to somebody, like even a mentor. So have you had any doubts on mentors, or did you have any mentor that was unreliable?
It's not that. I just don't like speaking to people. I just like keeping to myself.
Okay. I think it's very important though, like to form a relationship, just to, to talk to people in case problems, because, issues could get worse if they are not taken care of. So it's very important. I know it can be very frustrating that about why people need counselors, or you may think you don't need one, but understand that by going to a mentorship, you are helping yourself and getting the professional help.
That makes sense.
Are there any other questions you had for me in terms of anything, like is there anything else you want to talk about today, or is that it?
That's it for today.
Okay, well, thank you very much for coming in, and I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. Should we make an appointment for 2 or 3 weeks, whatever works for you?
2 weeks is fine.
Okay, excellent. I will see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Now questions to everyone. What type of a prodigy was Monica?
Avoidant.
Yeah. Monica, I really liked how you did that. And what skills did Joey use?
He asked a lot of questions.
And?
I like how we also use the confidentiality part of it.
Yep.
The mentee can be able to share freely.
Yep. Joey was basically building rapport. He was by giving things like confidentiality and this is a safe place. He is building rapport because Monica, as a avoidant prodigy, is already on the mindset with, I am forced to be here, but I don't have any other choice. So by giving things like that, and the tone Joey was having, staying calm, a nice tone to his voice, these are things what made Monica talk. Like, she didn't just stay quiet and avoid the questions. She still answered the questions, right? This is the only way how you can make an avoidant prodigy talk or an avoidant client, right?
Yes.
Okay, what's the time? Still a few more minutes. Okay, then let's go with Farhana and thank you, Monica and Joey. Let's go with Farhana and Andy. Who wants to be the mentee?
Up to Farhana, you can pick.
Well, I'm confused. Anything, whichever you feel comfortable, I'll try my best to do.
Okay, I can be the mentee then.
Okay. Choose one of those 3 styles and we will try to guess.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So maybe I will be.
Now you're the mentor, right?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
So you have the biggest job now, Farhana. You have to figure out what type of personality he is.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So hi, Andy. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So what do you want to share with me today? Anything that you happen, anything that you want to share it with me today?
Yes, I have issues in my marriage and things are not working too well, and I have kids, and that's the only reason I don't want to get a divorce. But my mental health and sanity is just collapsing day to day because the marriage isn't what I want.
So what is going on? How long have you been married?
Around 10 years.
How many kids do you have?
2.
So you're saying that you are in the marriage just because of your kids?
Yeah, initially it was because I liked my wife, but now that we have kids and I sort of lost attraction to my wife and I want a divorce, but the kids are gonna suffer from the divorce, so I don't really want to get a divorce.
Which is true, partially. I wouldn't deny that. When you say you lost attraction for your wife, I mean, marriage is something that actually has many aspects, not only a husband-wife relationship. As you said, you have kids also. Would you mind me asking if you have anyone else in your life other than your wife?
Currently, no, but I find myself getting attracted to a lot of people besides outside of my marriage.
Yeah, I understand. It is a commitment, so also that is something that is bothering you. The relationship with your wife. How is your wife? Does she want? How does she? How is she doing?
Oh, she doesn't know, and we don't really communicate.
Okay. Now, so what I understand here is, I think there's no major issues except that your attraction, being married in 10 years of your marriage, there's not much big issues. There might be somebody, your wife was betraying with you, was she bad with you, or you are being really intolerant with your wife. Anything, those kind of things is still not there, right?
Yeah, but I lost attraction to her, which means I don't love her anymore. And I don't think there's a point of staying in a marriage if we don't like each other. It's not fun for me personally.
Yeah, I see your point there. Definitely, if you are not enjoying something or if you're not happy in the marriage, you will not be able to make anyone else around you happy, including your kids. You wouldn't be able to give any good environment. But how about you try to start communicating with your wife a little bit more?
I don't feel like there's a point. The attraction is already lost, and it's been quite a while since this happened, and I really don't feel like there's a need to talk. So at this point, I'm just really deciding between to leave for my own sake or to stay in for my kids. And it has absolutely nothing to do with my wife.
I want to, this is, Andy's being very, actually, I don't know where to go from here, Sukhan.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much, Andy.
Yes, I would, because you always have to keep in mind you're just a mentor, you're not a professional. So at this point, I would advise him that he might want to consider marriage counseling.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Because he is at a point where he doesn't want to speak to her anymore, right? And you technically cannot give him advice to go and have a talk to your wife because it might collapse, right? Because he is saying that he doesn't have really interest in her anymore. So the only way what you could do is consider marriage counseling, because Andy is showing that he is willing to stay in the marriage. If it's for the kids or whatever, he is showing that he is willing to stay in the marriage. And the first point is he is willing to keep that marriage alive because he is coming to you. Nobody sent him to you. He came to you by himself. He doesn't trust in it. He doesn't trust in it. He doesn't, by the way he is talking, I can tell that even if you give him an advice, like go to marriage counseling, I refer you to marriage counseling, he might say, I don't really believe in that, right? But he is taking that step. He is taking that effort, which you have to accept. Okay, and further on, you could talk to him. You could give, it could be a very long discussion, but he could come at some point. I see that he might come around at some point and say, okay, let's try do it. Because he is willing to take that step. If not, he would come, he wouldn't come.
Yeah, so he's more secure prodigy, you would say?
No, he is. Does anyone else want to guess?
I think he's
Preoccupied?
Yeah, is it preoccupied then? Like
Monica, what do you think? And Joey?
I think that maybe preoccupied, borderline avoidant, because he doesn't want to speak to the wife.
I would say kind of a mix between preoccupied and secure, because Andy came, like as we talked about, Andy came on his own, and he is motivated to because he cares about his kids more than anything, because they'll suffer from the divorce, and they can, and then also from his tone, he didn't really go against the mentor. He handled everything calmly. I think for the preoccupied, I think so like a little bit of consistency should be there, because he didn't want to have see his wife because he was attracted, but I'm not exactly quite sure. So I'm leaning towards either secure or preoccupied.
Thank you. I would say he is a totally preoccupied one, because he showed willingness. Initially, he came by himself, but he is going through periods of rejection, which is not complete rejection. He is willing to stay in the marriage. He does say that he initially liked his wife, but not anymore, since probably they are going through something. We always have to think about, not only listen to what they say, also think about what they mean, what could have happened, right? So the liking his wife, the love to his wife is somewhere there, but it's just hidden because all of the issues they might be going through in the family life, right? So he is just showing periods of, no, I don't like her and I don't want to talk to her, but which is not completely, I hate her, because if he wouldn't want to stay in that marriage anymore, he wouldn't have come in the first place.
Yeah, that was, I was trying to find, like that there's no big issues that a marriage should, there are bigger issues, but there's no kind of issue actually. It's just a long-term marriage, 2 kids, busy married life probably, but then he kept saying that he doesn't, because I said that you go to the wife, and he's rejecting that. No, he doesn't want to, and just because they're not communicating, right?
Then you can say, yeah, exactly, and then you can step in and say, let me refer you to marriage counseling.
Yeah, even there's no other third person, not from the wife, not from himself, like they're not attracted to anyone else either. So okay, I see. So the marriage counselor would come in there.
And yes, and in the beginning you can have the marriage counselor even have seeing them individually, and then after a while put them together into sessions.
But as a mentor, if I am giving them, if I'm advising him to go to a marriage counselor, isn't that something that I am, as a mentor, it's not terminating, but it is something that I am referring him to some other mentor.
Yeah, you're just referring him.
Okay, referring him to other mentor.
You can actually you can keep him as a mentor as well, because you might be doing other stuff with him too. But this is his family life is one of the issues he's going through, which he could be seeing the marriage counselor.
Marriage counselor, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, like the prodigy could be something, but Andy could be maybe working under you, right? So you might be teaching him a lot more around your work, around your organization, about life, right? And marriage is just a part of it. And for that part, he's seeing somebody else. You could still keep him as your mentee. That depends on the situation.
Thanks for clearing that up, because when I was thinking, when as a mentor, when I was talking to the mentee, what in my mind was, because that's when I stopped, because I thought that this might get too personal as a mentor and as a mentee relationship. So I wouldn't be asking many questions in this sector, because then my relationship with as a mentor and a mentor has a lot of sectors, right? Like not only one part to discuss, or not only one thing to discuss or talk about. So where to get the exit point, where should I find the exit point? Because this is not a solo matter that I should be talking about as a mentor.
Yes, to be honest, I wanted to mention that there is a little red flag for Hannah, because when you said that I don't see any issues here, any big issues here, that I wouldn't say.
Okay, yeah.
That I wouldn't say. That is before, like literally before that is the point where you should say, okay, since it's in the marriage, I don't have really experience about this, and every marriage is different. So why not try out a marriage counselor?
See, this is what I was looking for, actually, that where to stop, because this kind of discussion might not go well with a mentally unstable or
exactly. Okay. Someone who is like Andy being already confused because he doesn't know whether to stay or not. So when you speak to someone like Andy and you say like, I don't see any big issue here, you might mentally disturb him in some way. And you don't want to do that. That's why we keep saying, like, when there's a point you have to stop and refer him to a professional, do that immediately.
Yeah, I see your point. Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to stop you during the role play. I wanted to say that. That is a big red flag. And like, obviously you didn't know. But like literally before that would be the point where you stop. You see things like he is willing to stay in the marriage, but he can't. He cannot communicate with the wife. Things like that are flags for you to know that marriage counseling is it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, understood?
Yes.
I don't think we need to do a role play on secure prodigies, because secure prodigies is just straightforward, motivated, engaged, happy to learn,
Yeah.
Okay, so we are done for today then. And we'll see each other tomorrow with the new module. We're done with this one. Monica, did you get my email with the link?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Okay, great. Then see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, for Alice, you are not in tomorrow, but the quiz is on Monday, okay?
Alice
Just as a reminder.
Alice is not here.
Oh, Alice left. Okay, no problem. Okay, bye guys.